today's episode of the Power 15, we have AJ Hamilton, JD, Juris Doctor, whose work is focused on family law. She's one of Shakespeare in Detroit's most loyal and inspiring volunteers. She's also a true example of what it means to be a contributing member of a community and is a superior example of what can be accomplished when you make a commitment to excellence. She's a prime example of Black excellence, as a matter of fact, and just so happens to also be my niece. Welcome to the Power 15, AJ.
Hi, thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. So what made you want to be a lawyer? Did you always know that you were going to practice law? And what made you so passionate about pursuing a legal career?
Well, I don't know if I necessarily always wanted to be a lawyer per se, but I knew as a kid that I always wanted to be in some form of like law enforcement. As a kid, I always, cliche, you watch like the crime shows and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to be that person to like help solve crimes and help people get justice for, against the bad guys and things like that. That's always what I wanted to do. I wanted to be either a police officer, CIA, FBI, anything like that. But as you know, I did have my child early while I was still in school. And then, of course, everything changed after that. My perspective changed. I didn't want to have a risky job, sort of say, in that type of field anymore. So I just decided to finish college. And kind of just didn't know where I wanted to go from there. But I always had this lingering bug that I wanted to do something with the law. And so that's when I decided to maybe, go to law school, because that is something where you're still helping get justice for people. You're helping people solve problems, but it's just not in the front lines. You don't have to carry a gun. You don't have to be out in the streets and things like that. So that's what I decided to do and go to law school. And after I took the LSAT, that was the end of that, and got accepted into UAD Law School, and that's how I decided to pursue my career in law.
So what are some of the careers or the avenues that someone can take in law? We always appreciate a great entertainment lawyer at Shakespeare in Detroit, but what are some of the specialties people can take in school if they decide that they want to pursue a career in law?
That's the good thing about being a lawyer, is that there are so many different areas of the law that I think the most popular, of course, is criminal law, because that's the one that you always see in the forefront. And that's the area that you see on TV and all the time. The criminal law system, that's the one that's always put out in the on TV and everything. And that's the one that most people know about. But in law school, you learn so many different areas of the law that you haven't even thought about, because you don't only need a lawyer when you get into trouble. You can, lawyers help people solve many different problems or help them before they get into trouble. So like if you like numbers, you can be a tax attorney. If you like to solve, help people solve their family issues, you can become a family law attorney, which is what I started when I first started practicing law. Now I am into criminal law, but that was my first area of law that I did. So, you do divorces, you handle custody issues, those types of things. If you want to help people, which is really popular now, get citizenship, and they have citizenship issues, you can become an immigration attorney. And I even have friends, they use their degree to start political careers. So I have people that I know that are now state reps, they're congressmen and things like that. As you know, our president and our first lady, our former president and first lady, they were lawyers, and that's how they started their careers. You can even be a professor, you can teach, you can even use it for your personal use, just to expand your business. Just knowing the law is a benefit to entrepreneurs, because you know the law, you know how things should be set up, how to set up a business, how to do your taxes, all that kind of stuff kind of helps go hand in hand when you're an entrepreneur. So you can use you can use the degree for many different things. Not a lot of you don't have to practice in the courtroom to necessarily be a lawyer. So there's a lot of different areas of the law that I think a lot of people don't quite realize that you can utilize that degree for.
We like variety.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you're in entertainment or you have a theater company like Shakespeare in Detroit, you always need a lawyer.
Yeah.
People think sometimes that the only thing that happens in theater are like the things that happen on stage. Nope. You need people like A.J. Hamilton also helping make that theater run smooth.
Yes, exactly. And if I can't do it, I'm sure I can get somebody that knows that area, because it's sometimes we don't always know every area of the law, but we always know somebody we can kind of refer you to. But yeah, entertainment lawyers, they help you because a lot of people don't know the legalese and contracts and all that kind of stuff. And so having a lawyer kind of helps you and keeps you from getting into any sort of trouble. It kind of helps with all those legal terms and legal issues that you may have beforehand. So, you don't need a lawyer just when you get in trouble, or everybody doesn't have a criminal history, but it's always good to have a lawyer just to help you get through some of the complex issues that you may have.
Yep, that's very true. So for anyone who doesn't know, and this is one of my favorite stories from this academic year, but Shakespeare in Detroit has an educational program that we call Shakespeare STEAM, STEAM, STEAM. And that's where we provide technical and design training for students in 3rd through 12th grade, along with artistic training, of course. And we were gearing up for our youth performance of Romeo and Juliet at a local high school. And I asked AJ if she would braid the hair of a young girl, one of our actors in Romeo and Juliet, who had some self-esteem challenges. And when I tell you her total disposition changed after AJ braided her hair, it was really awesome to watch her confidence grow and her performance just get better simply because her hair was braided. Now, AJ, you're a really busy lawyer, and a lot of people would not stop their schedule to come braid a little girl's hair, which, seems like a small thing, but it was huge for the self-esteem of this young actor. Why did you do that? And why do you think it's important for people to be involved in their communities and volunteer their time to organizations and nonprofits in the city?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, because you asked me and you're my lovely aunt, and I would do anything to help you along. But I was just thinking I was going in just to help, just to braid her hair up, just to help her for the play. It took all of 30, 40 minutes. And as soon as I got done, you could see her face light up, which was surprising to me because I didn't realize the effect that it would have on her. And I even stayed after a little bit to watch them practice, and you can tell her confidence, even in her role, had blossomed because she felt like, okay, now I'm really a part of this, and I looked the part. So that was, that made me feel good, and I think, and that's the thing you have to realize is sometimes when you may think it's a small gesture, it can mean the world to somebody else, or it can help them move along. If she didn't have her hair done, she may have not done well, or she may not felt like she's done well. And so even the smallest things to somebody can mean the world, and you don't know what your influence or your words or your actions, how they can affect somebody. Just the smallest thing can move them along in ways that you may not even know. So, I think it's important because it helps you connect to your community, and you get to see different sides of people because, we get so focused on ourselves sometimes and what we have going on. We don't realize that there are other people out here that are struggling with other issues. And it's good for them to see people that came from where they came from, or, just some inspiration. They know that they can move along, or just, have the ability to move along. Just because you are where you are, there are ways, you can pursue anything. And it's sometimes you just need that advice from some people, or just, the help to be pushed along. So I think, we have to remember if we all do a little something, that adds up, and it adds up to something bigger. Just the accumulation of everybody's efforts just to help the next person. I think that makes a significant change in your community. So I think just because you think it's a small gesture, do it, because you just never know how that affects that person. And you can be putting something, a bug in somebody's ear that helps them move along in their career, in their life, just giving small pieces of advice or anything that you may have to give. It doesn't necessarily have to be monetary or anything. It could just be a listening ear. So I think that's why it's very important for us to get involved.
Well, thank you. It was a big deal, definitely. You know, what's the best advice, AJ, that anyone has ever given to you that you still hold on to today that maybe you've shared with your children? AJ has two children who happen to be my great niece and nephew, and they're extraordinary, just like their mother. Is there a particular mantra or affirmation that you hold on to that motivates you every day that you can share with us? Because, of course, everybody needs some motivation, especially these days.
I think one of the main things that I try to tell my kids is, because they're in the transition of becoming children to young adults. You know, Jada just graduated from college last year, from Spelman. And then Jay is he's a junior at Eastern Kentucky. So they're both like on their transition path from being kids or, young adults to not going out and trying to live their life as adults. And sometimes they get that, that fear. And I always tell them, you can't lead your life with fear. You have to move forward with your goals, and you can't really deal with what ifs. You have to deal in the now, but also just have a plan for your life. Make sure you have a plan of action of what you want to do with your life, and what does that look like? Like, what is it going to take for you to get there? And just understand that there are going to be roadblocks. Like, success in your journey means that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick. So you have to be very patient in life. And I think that's one of the things I try to teach them is that, life is not going to be easy, but you have to stay the course. And that's when you get to the end of that road, that's what makes it that much sweeter to know that, you've gone through these things and they help you build your character, and they help you get, they help build your confidence, and to know that, you can do anything, just as long as you just, stay the course. And my main thing too is to make sure, you lead with God in your life as well. Pray about things, talk to God, and just, let him know what you're feeling, because he can help you, and he also gives you that confidence to keep pushing forward as well. So, just, staying in the course, understanding that there's going to be roadblocks, nothing is easy. And at the end of the day, you just have to keep pushing. So I think that's one of the things I try to just hold, let them know, just from going from a kid to an adulthood, that there's always going to be issues. Nothing is going to be as planned, but you still want to have that plan of action so you can know what next steps to take in life. So I think that's important.
I think that's great advice, especially right now during a quarantine when people are kind of stuck inside, still finding ways to keep pushing forward. Yes.
Yeah, I think in quarantine is a good way now, because we are, isolated pretty much. Take the time to do your research on whatever you feel like your next step in life is going to be. Take this time to do the research and sit down, read more, just kind of get an outline together of what you want to do once this is all over. Life is still going on. It's just a little different, how life is proceeding, but still, take this time to do your research and just write out your plans, figure out what you're going to do after this. So, because it's going to be a time where we're going to be back out there. So just be ready.
So this is my favorite question. What's bringing you joy today, and what are you looking forward to the most post-COVID-19?
What brings me joy today is, although we are in this crazy pandemic and we're isolated, it's giving me more time with the kids. More time with because they're generally not here. Jada lives in Atlanta. Jay, he's in Kentucky most of the year. So just having them around is just really good because I still have not gotten used to the whole empty nester life. So, because I'm generally here, by myself, just, putting my head in my work and just moving along. But so having that time to sit down, enjoy my kids during this time when I usually wouldn't, and reading more, I'm even though I'm done with school, it's always stuff to learn. So I'm trying to pick up more books to read since I do have a little bit more free time, but we're picking back up for work. So it still is giving me the downtime that I probably needed to refresh. So that's always, so I'm taking, and I'm just looking at the good perspective of it, that, it is giving me time to sit down a little bit and enjoy my family. But post-COVID, I'm just looking for any type of normalcy at this point. just not being able to like do what you want and go where you want without gearing up, and not being able to visit my family. Like I haven't been able to come see you guys and my grandparents, trying to stay away, just because they're, susceptible. So I just any type of normalcy will be fine for me, just to, be out here visiting my family and just doing what I normally would do would be great. And at some point, I guess, because I'm still be a little bit nervous about traveling. So, but eventually trying to get into it, get a real vacation. This is, it's nice to be at home, but I would like to be on the beach somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to let everybody know, we thought we were going to be in Greece. Okay?
Exactly.
In June, we thought we were going to be in Greece.
I know, and my birthday is next month. I'm like, my birthday is just shot. So, but yeah, that's just you never, because now you just took your life for granted. You never, this whole thing is so crazy. Like you never knew like something like this would just stop the whole world. So we never seen this coming. As hard as it is. So just getting back to normal life would definitely be great.
I'll send you some pictures of Santorini.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing too. Just looking at pictures and scrolling IG, looking at travel pictures. Like, yeah, that sure does look beautiful. So who knows when that'll happen.
Such a bummer. Well, for aspiring entrepreneurs out there, it really is important to identify and honor your village. And so I'm so grateful to have AJ as a part of my village. Her legal advice, but most of all, the way that she's shown up is undoubtedly a great contributor to Shakespeare in Detroit's success. Thank you again for being on the Power 15, AJ.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, great. Well, I hope to see you soon. And until then, I'll send you those pictures of Santorini.
Sounds good. I'll post them.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.